Welcome everyone to my new episode. And today I'm going to be talking to you about a couple of exciting topics. Um, Not really, though. um, or more or less exciting. I'll put it that way. First off, I'm going to start with the Rey Mysterio is planning to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. He said in an interview that he wanted to follow in Chris Jericho's footsteps. Um, so he he plans on competing in the Tokyo Dome and making it happen. And I'm proud of his decision, um, and hope he makes it. Which I think he will, since Japanese wrestling and lucha libre are two similar styles, and they seem to mesh well together. And I think he has wrestled in Japan before. It was with I don't remember which particular promotion, but I remember watching him with Pentagon Junior and two other guys in a Japanese promotion. And he did pretty good. So I think he'll make it big time in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's all I got to say on that subject. Next subject is I want to talk to you about backyard wrestling. I don't really have much of an opinion on it, other than I've watched like some of it, and it's not good. Or it just either it wasn't good or it was just mediocre to me. I do see how from a wrestler's perspective, a business perspective, how it could be detrimental, because the wrestlers, they get hurt in the ring very often, and they it's a legit business. It's a legit athletic endeavor, if you will. So it's not something that should be taken as a hobby, because it's one of those things where you could legit injure yourself and end up in a hospital or whatnot, and it's not a good way to end up to make it in the business. With a few exceptions, like I think Cactus Jack was a backyard wrestler before he became mainstream signed pro wrestler. But that was because they people who did, who started off in backyard wrestling, they left it behind, and they decided to get serious about it. So I do see that why backyard wrestlers shouldn't put their bodies on the line, because that's not how you make it in pro wrestling. And not to mention that the business aspect of it is the locker room etiquette, all that stuff. It's not there when they're doing all those moves and whatnot. And so those are just my thoughts on it. I mean, as a fan, also, I feel like it's also probably lower quality compared to the stuff that you see and in actual pro wrestling events, shows, whatever. Because the fans, they're just into the wrestling and nothing else. They don't know anything about storylines, anything about uh, building drama, ring psychology. None of the stuff that actual wrestlers know how to do. It's not just about the moves. It's like I said before, but yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. Maybe they'll change later in the future. I don't know, because I don't really watch it that much. But it is what it is. So next topic is gonna be the uh, interactions between pro wrestlers and fans. Like if you remember watching Lucha Underground, where they had the Believers Backlash match. That one was it was really creative, and it was really intense as well. So I would like to see more of more interactions between fans and pro wrestlers in mainstream wrestling. Um, but I don't know uh, if it's going to be safe, if you will, from a business standpoint. So I do see. I would like to know like what people think about it. What do you think if wrestlers and fans interacted on a more deeper level than they did in the past? You think it would enhance ratings or the overall product? What do you think? I think it from a creative standpoint, it potentially um, boost the storylines and enhance the characters, um, and and really create some solid drama. Um, I know it's happened in the past every now and then. Like I saw Abyss, punching some fans, even though it was a you know it was planned and stuff like that, and Pentagon Junior or Pentagon Dark rather, he would come in trying to swing at a fan during a match. I think Lucha Underground season 2, the season finale. Um, so it's been done before, but I do see how several problems could arise from it, uh, from a business standpoint. Like the fans might get too overboard and they might start at legit attacking the wrestlers, um, or vice versa. The wrestlers might attack them, um, and the fans, they weren't. They're not really trained or anything, so there's gonna be a hazardous work environment for the wrestlers, and yeah, and um, so and not to mention groping like between the females and the males, and that's just gonna create havoc. I mean, there are some instances where it was pulled off well. How, I do not know. um, but I mean, I guess it could work to some degree, but only in very specific circumstances. Um, and then you have the lawsuits as well. So, um, so yeah, I mean, I do wish there was more um, interactions between pro wrestlers and fans. As a fan myself, um, much like it was in the ECW days, between when the fans, they brought their weapons and they tossed them into the ring or whatever and helped the ECW wrestlers out. Those were pretty creative stunts right there. But that pretty much wraps up my podcast. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more. And with that, I'll see you next week.